Hi guys, this is Maria and Manos, and you're watching On the Couch with M&M.
The show to help you build fun and profitable businesses. Hi guys, and welcome to another edition of On the Couch with M&M. Today we've got a very good friend of ours, a really highly valued team member, Miss Michelle Braggins.
Hello.
Welcome to the show, Michelle.
It's finally good to have you on the couch.
It's lovely to be here. Thank you.
We've been asking her for some time.
Go on. So Michelle, you've been with us for 6 years.
Yes.
And in real estate for?
11 in total.
11 in total?
Yeah.
Not all of it in Australia?
No, all of it in Australia. But the first 5 years was in New South Wales. And,
okay.
And
what about New Zealand? I thought you did a bit of real estate in New Zealand. Oh, you didn't?
No.
Okay, so tell us about your journey.
I did hospitality management in New Zealand.
Okay, yes. Yeah.
So, background in service, really. So that's where I started.
And you started in property management, or?
I did.
Yes.
Yeah. I initially applied for a sales role, but being new to Australia and I was 24 at the time, I went through 300 applicants and about 8 interviews and got down to the last 2 people, and then the property manager quit. So they gave the other salesman the job and I took the property management role, and that's where I started.
That's where you started.
Turns out to be a fantastic thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially about the topic we're going to be talking about today.
Is that what gave you? Is that what sort of started? Is that when you started thinking about investing in property, and the love of property ownership sort of developed? Or
it's probably I think I had a love for property already, and that's why I applied for the role. Yeah. I thought I would be good at sales. In hospitality management, you're selling all the time anyway, and that's all about service and sales. Yeah. Because it's that's very much combined. But when I moved into property management, I had no inkling whatsoever that I could ever own an investment property. That wasn't even on my agenda. Okay. But what it did do was give me a really good knowledge base that I could bring to my future life. So that was it's funny how life happens.
It does, doesn't it?
Just to bring clarity to the interview today, Michelle's been a sales agent with our team for the last 6 years. We just celebrated your 6-year anniversary, as mentioned earlier.
Last week, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it was. And you're obviously you're a part of our sales team here at the Frankston office. You've gone out and had your own brand and so forth, but your real claim to fame is actually preaching what we obviously practicing what we preach, and that is in investing in properties. And we're going to be talking about today how you invested in property, and you started with us 6 years ago with how many properties?
We had 2.
2 at the time?
Maybe 3. Might have had 3 by that stage. I'm trying to remember. 6 years. I'm guessing we probably had 3. Yeah.
And today you have how many properties?
8.
8. Sensational. So we're going to talk about the journey and why we should be investing in property. For those of us that want to, obviously, we're in real estate. So what's the key? What makes that successful?
Investing in property, research. Lots and lots of research. Read everything you can, whether it be online, whether it be books. Go to seminars, find out from experts what they suggest. Get as much knowledge as you possibly can. Meet with real estate agents, go to opens, look at the market, look at actual homes in the areas that you're looking to invest in. Just lots and lots of research. Yeah.
And Michelle, I mean, we come across many agents in our obviously in our time together and so forth. And do you find that not many real estate agents are actually investing in property?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're investing in cars.
They're investing in cars.
They're investing in cars.
Tell us, because you spoke in one of our conferences a couple of years ago, and you said something that it stayed with me since then, and it was about the cars.
And Manos, he tells me all the time.
Can you mention that again?
Every time I think about buying myself a new car, I buy a property instead.
Oh, I
think it's gold.
I think that's an absolutely gold. Golden attitude to have.
Yeah. What that's really about, though, is not looking at the flashy things and spending money on the flashy things to satisfy you now, but thinking long term and thinking, how can I better use that money? If I buy a property with that money instead, then it's not even that you have to have the money ready to go. It's about the cash flow.
It is.
So it's always keeping an eye on the cash flow, and that means not getting yourself a flashy car every year, but thinking about another property.
And it's important to talk about. Obviously, Michelle is not Michelle's not $1 million performer,
and I don't want to be, quite frankly.
That's a really important goal. So can we just talk about your GCI, just so we give some perspective to the audience that you don't need to be $1 million performer to be on the road to obviously financial success and wealth. In using obviously property as that vehicle. So you average about 250,000 in GCI. Under our system, obviously we're on higher splits. Your personal income is probably around the 150 to 170,000 a personal income. You do have a partner as well that obviously supports you as well from a family perspective. So we're not talking about someone who needs to write $1 million to make $300,000-$500,000 in income to build a portfolio of a property.
When I started, can I just say that when I started, I was not on an income anything like I'm on now either.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not about it's not about being on a high income. You can do it on a much lower income. It might just take you a little bit longer.
It's the good old saying is that it's not how much money you make, it's what you do with that money that matters. So, you could be earning $500,000 and spending $600 on lifestyle and you're going to be going backwards. But if you're saving and you're spending on the right things. So tell us about your structure. So obviously, you like any other business, because this is a business, property ownership, you would have had like a plan. So talk to us about like, how did you think? I think you said you had a goal of 5 properties in 5 years.
Yeah.
So talk to us about that. So what did that look like? What did you have to do to sort of structure it and make it happen?
Well, when I first started thinking about, I'll probably start right back at the beginning. I found myself 36, divorced with 2 children on a part-time income. So, the idea of investment properties wasn't in my future that I could see. In fact, owning my own property was going to be a struggle again. I had to sell my dream property after divorce, which is a position I find a lot of my clients in. So I completely understand where they're coming from. It's difficult. So, and difficult to get into the market even now, where the market has doubled over the last, 10 years, as it quite often does, and you hope that it does. Even back then, I found myself with a small deposit, actually a generous deposit when I think about it, but a very low income, which makes it very difficult to get financing from the banks.
Repayments,
So I rented for a year after divorce to get my head straight, and then I found myself a very small property, which had a lot of potential. So I wasn't expecting to get the Taj Mahal, the McMansion. I went for something small that I could do something with, that I could see the bones were good, that had a lot of potential, and that's what I purchased. Moved my kids in there. I renovated it while I lived in it, and I got plans and permits ready for building a unit at the back. So that started me up.
Excellent. So you knew that it was a subdivided property when you bought it?
I had an inkling.
Yeah,
I had an inkling. There seemed to be enough room. It was a bit of a juggle getting the plans right. I had a fantastic draftsman who I worked with to get the plans right, to get the plans and permits to put.
That's another important thing, isn't it? If you're going to go into subdivision, you have to have the right partners around you, and one of them would be obviously the drafts people and the getting the permits through and all that. We know we've been through it.
Yes.
Our permit actually didn't go through. We just spent a lot of money. So you have to have the right partners around you.
I had a good inkling. My instincts about it were good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was a bit of a gamble, because you never really know if council's going to knock you back or not.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, the gamble's worth it. If council does knock me back, then I'll put a big shed up there instead, and that will increase the value. I've got potential for expansion. So, if it doesn't go my way with subdivision,
one way, you can do it.
We'll work it.
So you had options.
Yeah.
It had options. The property had options.
Another way to increase. If you've got a big backyard, you've got options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened with that property? Have you kept it, or?
I did, actually.
Yes.
One of the things I did when I divorced from my husband, I sat down and I wrote myself a list of what I saw my future to look like. And I fully encourage everyone to do this, is to sit down and write yourself a list of what you want for your life.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be after divorce. It just has to be you now.
Yeah.
Where do you see your future in 5 years? And I wrote myself a list, and on that list I had some really extraordinary things that I never thought would happen, which...
Big audacious goals?
Yeah, like be in a Hollywood movie, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I love it.
How cool would that be? Go to Disneyland, that was always a childhood dream. I've done those now.
You've been in a Hollywood movie?
Yeah, just as an extra, but I was in it.
I love it. That's awesome. So
I saw the stuntman and Nicolas Cage.
I love Nicolas Cage too.
I was running down the street covered in glycerine, running from explosions. So
I love it.
You've kept that under the cover for some time.
You write it down and it happens. It's amazing the power of actually writing your goals down, isn't it? Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah. Good on you.
And I went to I was actually working at the cinemas when I saw it on the screen.
That is
I love it.
So how
That's
funny
awesome.
is that? So I wrote myself a list, and on that list was that I would buy myself a property, and I would buy an investment property, and I would buy my parents a property. Oh. And the funny thing was, the first property that I bought, I renovated, I lived in myself, and then when I met my new partner and we decided to buy a property together, I chose to make that one my investment property.
Yeah.
And then Mum and Dad decided that they'd move into it. So
wow.
I kind of did all three in one.
Yes. Yeah.
It's
amazing. Good
response.
response.
Yeah.
It is.
It's beautiful.
So then when did the 5 in 5 came? Is that when you started with us, the 5 properties in 5 years? Is that when that goal came? Yeah.
So when
about
I met
6 years ago.
When I met Stu, actually it would have been a little bit before.
Yeah.
When I met Stu, I had 2 children from my divorce, and he had 3 from his. So we have 5 children. And
Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Love it.
And you're a gorgeous family. We love having you over at the pizza nights and stuff like that. And your kids are unbelievable. Unbelievable. You should be
talented.
Extremely proud.
Yeah. I'm very proud of them. That I do love all of them, and they get along so beautifully. But we found ourselves in a position where we had 5 children under 18.
Needed a bigger house.
And we needed a bigger house. When Stu and I met, we were both renting. So we were both renters. So in 10 years, we've gone from both being renters and not owning a property to owning 8. So if we can do it with 5 children, then anyone can do it. Yes, we do have a slightly higher income, but we did it with 5 children, and that affects your financing and all of that sort of stuff as well. So it's all about the goal setting and all of that.
And discipline as well, though.
And discipline too.
It takes discipline to sit down and say, okay, this is what I have to do. This is how much I can spend here, and then the rest of it has to go into, topping up. And you've got to be clever as well, obviously. And the research, everything is important, but I think discipline is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And the goal has to be big enough.
Yeah.
And it's got to be what you want,
Well, we looked at our 5 children, and, we're hearing in the market how children, the kids of now won't be able to afford a home in the future.
Yeah.
And we wanted to set ourselves up where we would be able to provide for our children in the future and for their families as well. So our big hairy goal was to have 5 properties in 5 years for our 5 children. So if anything did happen to us, they were set up for the future.
Yes.
So that's where we started. I purchased a property, Stuart purchased a property independently, and then when we decided to move in together, we purchased one together and we rented both of those out, and that started our portfolio. And that is your tipping point. Once you hit 3, your momentum happens, because every 10 years, if your property is doubling, then you'd expect a 10% growth every year. So by the time you have 3 every year, if the market is running well, then there's your 20% deposit with costs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it allows you to buy another property every year. So we kind of, that's where we started. That's how we went.
That is amazing. It's
and
an
now you're another
amazing
age.
journey.
Yeah.
It's so achievable.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so achievable, but you do need to look at it as a business.
It is.
A lot of people get into property and think very personally about it, think personally about the properties that they're selecting, the people that they're putting in there, and how they're running it. They worry about people moving in and damaging the property, or that they're going to, put stains on the carpet, or it's a business. So
it comes with the parcel. Expect it.
It comes with it. That's right.
So have your insurances. Make sure you've got everything set up to deal with any of those things.
Exactly.
So then you don't have to worry about it. Yeah.
Every business has their setbacks.
Yeah.
So just plan for it.
Yeah.
That there will be maintenance that's required. Put that in the budget. When you're borrowing to purchase the property, borrow all of the costs if you can. That will mean that you're not disrupting your cash flow with your lifestyle. You're actually borrowing the full amount for the property, which becomes tax deductible.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
Rule number 2: have a really good accountant.
Oh yes,
yes. Yeah.
And there are accountants, and then there are accountants.
Yeah,
So true. So
100%.
true.
property accountant.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a good real estate agent.
Absolutely.
As a buyer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Someone that will follow up, someone that's going to, show you properties, even if they don't have them within the company, you know. And I know you've helped so many of your clients become investors because you're so passionate about it. So.
It's funny, I've had buyer's agents who deal with agents all the time say to me, we don't want to see that property. We don't want to see that property. And I've said, no, you're coming to look because I know it will be good for your investor. And then they have, and they've had a really great experience. It's they've had great growth on it, or the small amount of money that I've told them to spend on it has returned tenfold.
Yeah.
So it just means that those particular buyer agents are coming straight back to me and saying, anything you want to show me, I'm looking at. For my clients. So, it's good. And buyers agents.
Because you're giving them good advice, and at the end of the day, you're breathing and living real estate every day.
Yeah.
You're investing yourself. Yourself are an investor. So of course they're going to listen to you.
That's
right.
right.
I would listen to you. Everyone should, because you're doing it. You're not just sitting back, not owning not even one home, giving people advice on how to do things. So,
I love property. I love everything about it.
Yeah.
And there's not much I haven't done. I've built,
renovated.
I've had to sell
demolished.
my dream home.
Have you demolished and
Demolished,
rebuilt?
but
Okay, there you
it's
go.
also
You've done everything. Yeah.
We bought one this year, which will be a demolish.
Yes.
And
That's
probably
right.
3 to 5, depending on.
That would be the family dream home.
Yeah,
probably.
possibly. And we made the big investment no this last year, which was to buy a property
Emotionally.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But at the same time,
at the end of the day, that's what we do it for.
Yeah.
Where to from here? What's the next big audacious goal?
Well, we're at 8. We'd love to get to 10. It won't be this year. We're not buying property this year. I'll be renovating the house that we live in this year, which will increase the value so that when we do in 3 to 5 decide to move into the other one, then we'll increase our value so that we can get more, which will pay for the build. We've got those plans. So another 2 over the next 2 years.
Fantastic.
Definitely, if not before.
And then
we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see when we get to that goal, where we feel we want to move next, and maybe another 5. We've got a 5-year plan at the moment, and property we haven't included in that plan. It's more where we see ourselves and our lifestyle personally in the next 5 years. So things we want to do, places we want to go. Greece next year.
Greece again.
I can't wait for that.
Yes.
It's going to be awesome.
Best ever.
Yeah.
Best ever. Photograph more
Do you know
doors.
what's funny?
Yes.
Like this time last year we were there, and every day, and even with Julie Anderson was talking about it yesterday, she goes to me, every day I keep getting this
Reminders.
Facebook, what do they call memories. And she goes, I just can't look at them anymore, It's just, but that's where we're at last year. It was beautiful, and we're looking forward to having you guys again in our hometown.
In 12 months' time.
In 12 months.
In 12 months' time. Yeah, so between now and then, it's more investing, helping other people invest and find their dream homes, and I just love
awesome.
Well, Michelle, keep smashing
It's a pleasure. It's such a pleasure working with you every day. You're inspiring.
You're inspiration to everyone, the whole team. You inspire us, and and hopefully, I know the viewers would have got a lot out of today's interview, and especially just to get moving on it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just get out there and just do your first one if you haven't already done it.
And if you want someone to help you buy property, just call Michelle.
Yeah.
Call me.
Go on our website. We'll put her phone number, and
Yeah.
she'll be more than happy to help you.
I'm happy
with
to
your plans.
hear people's stories and give advice, and whether you're buying or selling or whatever, if you just want some advice, feel free to call. Love to help.
Thanks for joining us,
Michelle. Thanks for joining us, and thank you guys for joining us. See you next time.